Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're getting into the science of habits. Why some stick and some just don't. But more than that, we're going to look at a real blueprint, a scientific one, for making the good ones actually last.
Okay, let's be real. We've all been there, right? That feeling. You start a new habit, you're super motivated, and then, boom, a few weeks later, it's like that motivation just evaporates. Why does that happen? Why do we keep falling into that same trap? Well, here's the good news. It's probably not your fault. It's not about a lack of willpower. The latest science is pretty clear on this. Failure is usually just a mismatch. A mismatch between the strategy we think should work and how our brains are actually wired. So it's not about trying to brute force it. It's about learning to work smarter with the brain you've got.
All right, so to figure out what actually works, we first have to debunk what doesn't. And that means we have to start by tackling this one super famous but honestly super misleading myth.
I mean, come on, you've heard this a million times. It's so simple and clean, right? Just stick with it for 21 days. It promises this quick, easy fix, a finish line that's just around the corner. But the reality, it's a whole lot messier than that.
Because when scientists actually started tracking people trying to build new habits, surprise, surprise, the results were all over the map. That neat, tidy 21-day idea, it just completely fell apart under real-world testing.
The truth is, it can take anywhere from just 18 days to more than 250 days. I mean, that's over 8 months. That massive range tells us something really important. It's not just about time. It's about you, it's about the habit, and it's about this one huge biological hurdle we're all trying to clear. So if it's not about the number of days, what is it about? Well, this gets us to the core of why we struggle. It's a concept that neurobiologist Andrew Huberman talks about a lot, and he calls it limbic friction. Basically, it's that internal resistance, that feeling you get when you're trying to get yourself to do something.
Okay, so let's dive into our brain's blueprint for this stuff. If we want to work with our brain instead of fighting it, we gotta understand how it operates. And it really boils down to two key forces that, luckily for us, we can actually learn to manage.
So, limbic friction, think of it like this. It's that internal debate you have when you know you should go to the gym, but every part of your brain is screaming, nope, stay on the couch, it's comfy here. It's the mental energy, the activation energy you have to burn just to get over that initial hump.
And then there's the other side of the coin, task bracketing. This is your brain's secret weapon, its superpower for making things automatic. It's like your brain puts these little invisible bookmarks at the beginning and the end of a routine. Once it does that, the whole thing just runs. It runs on autopilot, no conscious thought required. Just like brushing your teeth.
So here's the big takeaway. The entire game of building habits boils down to two things. First, you have to lower that limbic friction to make it easier to start. And second, you have to strengthen that task bracketing so the habit runs on its own. That's it. That's the formula.
Okay, so how do we actually do that? Well, there's a really powerful science-backed system for it. And the key is, it's not about forcing yourself to do something at 6 a.m. just because you read it in a book. No, it's about something way smarter. It's about aligning your new habits with your brain's natural daily chemical rhythms.
Let's break this down. Your day is basically split into 3 phases. Phase 1, that's the first 8 hours or so after you wake up. Your brain is flooded with dopamine and adrenaline. It's action-oriented. This is your prime time, your golden window for tackling those really hard habits, the ones with super high limbic friction. Then you slide into phase 2, about 9 to 15 hours after waking. You're more relaxed now, serotonin is rising. This is perfect for the easier stuff, learning a new skill, journaling, things that don't take a ton of willpower. And then there's phase 3, which is just as important. Sleep. This isn't just downtime. This is when your brain is hard at work, consolidating everything and actually wiring in those new habits. It's crucial.
So, keeping that 3-phase framework in mind, let's get super practical. Here are 2 specific tools, backed by science, that you can start using today to build the good habits and, just as importantly, tear down the bad ones. Okay, so first for building habits. Now, this is called a 21-day system, but it's not about that old 21-day myth. The goal here is different. It's not to perfect one habit, it's to train your brain in the skill of being consistent. You choose 6 new things you want to do, and every day you just aim to get 4 or 5 of them done. See what it does? It builds in failure.
It gives you permission to not be perfect. The focus is on the overall pattern of consistency, not on a perfect streak. And that is a total game changer for sticking with things long term. All right, now what about breaking bad habits? This one is going to sound a little weird, a little counterintuitive. So let's say your bad habit is mindlessly scrolling on your phone. The moment you catch yourself and stop, instead of beating yourself up, you immediately do something easy and positive. It could be anything. 2 push-ups, reading 1 page of a book, whatever. What this does over time is amazing. It actually hijacks the brain circuit for the bad habit and starts rewriting the code, connecting that old trigger to a new, better behavior. Okay, so we've debunked the myths, we've looked at the neuroscience, we've got some practical tools in our belt. So, what's the big picture here? What's the one thing you really need to take away from all this? It all comes down to a fundamental shift in how you think about this. You've got to stop trying to be a drill sergeant for your brain and start being an architect. Real, lasting change isn't about gritting your teeth and using brute force. It's about being smart. It's about understanding your own biology, that limbic friction, those daily phases, and then designing a system around it. You're building a system where doing the right thing becomes the easiest thing to do. So the science gives us the blueprint, and that changes everything. It changes the question from, a place of struggle and anxiety like, ugh, can I even do this? To a place of creativity and power. Okay, what do I want to build? And that's a pretty amazing thought to leave you with.